Hello, bookworms. Welcome back to the Book Hangover Club, where the only cure is another great book. In today's video, we're going to be getting into part 2 of some hockey romance book recommendations. As with the last video, all of the books that I will be recommending in this video are 5-star reads in my personal opinion. So with that being said, sit back, relax, grab a snack, and let's get into it. So starting off strong, the first book recommendation is Shiver by Reread. And before we even delve into the book itself, if I'm being honest, I just feel like the cover is not subtle at all. And I know when it comes to like spicy book, most authors will have kind of an incognito version of the book, cover wise, so it's not so in your face, just in case, I don't know, you're sitting at your doctor's office and you pull your book out. Not everybody in the lobby is looking at you because you're reading a spicy book with a really freaky cover. So that would be my only critique. I don't hate the cover. I just think it's a lot. And, personally, I don't buy physical copies of any of the books that I do read. I kind of just use my iPad mini and, I just get whatever book it is that I want to read and I just read it digitally. I mean, I don't have this issue. I could read these spicy books no matter where I'm at. If I'm at a family function, if I'm at my doctor's office, if I'm sitting at the park, I could whip out a spicy novel and have no issues. But just in case I wanted to buy the physical copy of this book, I just couldn't. Compared to all the books that I recommended in the last video, I guess, as well as all the books that I'm going to be recommending in this video as well, I wouldn't look at the cover of this book and think, okay, this is a hockey novel. Like, this is about hockey. Like, I wouldn't think there was anything hockey related in the book whatsoever. I would just think it's freakiness and nastiness from page 1 all the way to, I don't know, page 453, like whatever the last page in the book is. Like, I would just think it's straight nastiness from beginning to end. But as far as what's inside of the book, this is a 5-star read. Definitely classify it as I would say it's more of a medium burn. I definitely fell in love with the characters. I think the names of the characters were very unique. I think that's something that stuck out to me a lot. Like, I've never heard the name Egon ever. I just thought the character had a really cool first and last name. I mean, his name is Egon Wolf. I don't know, it's different and it's cool because it's different. The characters are very engaging and it was just very easy for me to fall in love with the characters. I believe this book is a part of a series. If I'm not mistaken, I have read every book in that series, but I would say for me, this one is the one that stuck out to me the most. I definitely find myself going back to this book. I mean, if I'm being honest, just me talking about this book made me go back and read the book again for like I don't know, maybe like the 7th or 8th time. Like, I've read this book so many times, just because I love the characters so much. As far as spice goes, it's definitely a 3 out of 3 for me. This book also features a queer awakening, which I thought was done very, very well. It didn't feel forced. It's something that kind of just naturally developed and flowed really well with the book itself and the story. I loved both characters, but I would have to say Egon was my favorite. I'm not really sure why he was my favorite, but honestly, he just was. Like, I loved who he was as a character and just as a person. And it was nice, kind of getting to see him get his happy ending. I definitely got the impression that wasn't necessarily neglected as a child, but just kind of put on the back burner, especially being like an only child. I didn't get the impression that his parents didn't love him per se, but I definitely got the impression that that love was transactional in a sense, as well as conditional as well. On one hand, I do think it would have been nice to kind of get a more in-depth look at his relationship with his parents. I think it would have been nice to kind of see his parents in the book. I feel like that on one hand, but then on the other hand, I'm kind of just like, I know I would have hated his parents. So maybe it's a good thing that they weren't in the book. Like maybe it's a good thing that that the author didn't waste any pages on these hateful, disgusting people. So I have no issues with the speed in which the relationship moved. I would say it moved very, very quickly, but it just felt natural to who the characters were. I also feel like this is not a book most people would classify as a 5-star read. That is not what we're worried about. These are my opinions. I would say this is a 5-star read. I come back to it all the time. I love this book. It's just the characters will definitely sink their teeth into you and have you hooked from beginning to end. I really love the pacing of the story. Overall, this is a 5-star read and I highly recommend this book. Like I said, I come back to it often. I'm sure after I just ranted about it for God knows how long, I'll probably go read it again. So definitely recommend. Next on my list is Wraparound by Rebecca Wraith. When it comes to a Rebecca Wraith book, I know that, even though it's supposed to be a hockey romance or a soccer romance, I know that that aspect of the book is going to come secondary to whatever the main thing, whatever the meats and potatoes of the book actually is. And I think that's one of the reasons that this book stands out to me, as well as just the religious aspects of it as well. I feel like that part of it definitely made it easy for me to relate to the characters just because, I come from a very religious background. Definitely not to the extent in which the characters in this book had to deal with it, but I mean, pretty damn close. So that is definitely something that made me, keep reading. As far as pacing goes, I would classify this as a slow burn. This is a friends to enemies to lovers. I would say I really enjoyed the characters. I really enjoyed, the kind of twists and turns that took place throughout the entire book. It definitely kept me on my toes and it definitely kept me, kind of hooked into the plot of the book and what was taking place with the characters. There were definitely instances where I wanted to kind of just reach through the book and smack Gideon, just knock some sense into him in general, because can you imagine if wasted all of this time believing one thing when it was the other? But it's like you don't really even have all the facts, hurt and angry that you would, like, you're just making decisions based off of your emotions and you're not really listening to reason. But had you listened, a lot of things could have just been avoided. And I mean, personally, that was just my issue with Gideon, but now that I really think about it, like, had he listened and had they talked it out and really discussed what was actually taking place, we probably would not have had a book. So it's a good thing that Gideon was stubborn. I just really loved getting to see the growth of the characters, especially Gideon. I really loved watching them separate themselves from such a toxic environment, kind of getting a second chance at life and just becoming the people that they've always wanted to be without, this religion or their family or their parents telling them, like, this is who you need to be because of this thing that we believe in. And I really admired their bravery getting away from that environment and escaping that environment. I can't imagine that is an easy thing to do. It definitely wasn't easy for me to do. So yeah, no, I definitely resonated with this book a lot. I definitely resonated with the characters a lot as well. Their family is crazy, like way past crazy. The happily ever after definitely felt well deserved by the time I got to the end of the book. This is definitely a highly recommend. Moving right along, the next book recommendation is Game Set Match by Kai Jennings. When I started this book, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I kind of went in blind because I didn't read what it was about. I definitely do this thing where if I'm reading a book and it hasn't grabbed my attention by like chapter 2 or like chapter 3, I will just stop reading the book. So I'm glad that I did not do that with this book. I think by the time I finally came back to it and I finished it, I would have been like, I really wish I would have just kept reading because that was such a great read. Let's just jump straight into the characters. If I haven't fallen in love with one or both of the main characters, I cannot classify the book as a 5-star read because I didn't fall in love with either character. And you know, when that's the case, the spice just falls flat for me as well. No, I really, really loved both characters. August is just, I would say he was definitely my favorite. I think there's just something about big, tough hockey player. He just looks like somebody who takes absolutely no shit from anyone. I just feel like throughout the entire book, he showed vulnerability. And, you know, I feel like that's the thing about Kai's writing style. Even though the topics are very heavy, it's almost like you're just dealing with so many dark themes, but the book itself doesn't feel heavy or dark. I really love the way, you know, the author navigated dealing with all of these very heavy topics. I really love how everyone rallied around him and just made him feel around August protected and made him feel like he had people in his corner who cared about, you know, what happened to him. And it was just, I mean, this is a really, really good book in my opinion. Very well written. I loved all the characters. I loved getting, you know, glimpses of Jet Frazier and Harrison as well. I believe this is a part of a series. This is book 2, and I believe book 3 is set to come out at some point in time this month. Honestly, I don't even care what it's about. I'm sure it's going to be good. I loved all of the characters, I will say. And this is probably just me personally, but it was kind of hard remembering who everyone was, with the exception of the 2 main characters in this book, as well as Jet and Harrison. Harrison's cousin or nephew. I think it's his cousin. His name starts with an A. I cannot remember what his name is for the life of me. I'm sorry. It is like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I think I'm just tired. You know what? Let me go check. Let me go check what his name is because it's bothering me that I can't remember now. Okay, his name is Arlo. And to be honest with you, when I went back to the book to go find his name, I honestly just started reading the book again. Outside of Arlo, Harrison, Jet, August, and Quinn, it was kind of hard remembering who everybody was outside of the people that I just mentioned. It was kind of hard remembering who they were, where they belong, just get introduced to a lot of characters. When I tell you, you will have a hard time putting it down. This is a fantastic read. I highly, highly recommend. The final book on the list is Ricochet by River Hale. This book was very surprising. The main characters do play hockey. Hockey wasn't the main focal point of the book. This book was wild. You had the freakiness of like all the spicy stuff taking place. I mean, this book will take you on a roller coaster for sure. Again, I just love when books are, yes, this is a hockey romance, but hockey is like not the focal point of the book. If I was writing a hockey romance, I would never think to put hockey and serial killer in the same sentence. I mean, if you love dark romance, possessive main characters, obsessive main characters, then this is definitely the book for you. I feel like it was an even split down the middle. I think I liked both characters equally, you know, as much as the other. It starts off strong, and then it calms down a little bit and things start to feel normal, and then they start to get weird. And it just gets weird and weird all the way till the end of the book. But still a really, really good read. Definitely unique as far as hockey romances go. All right, bookworms, that is the final book recommendation that I have. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for listening to me rant. And as always, please drop down in the comments and let me know what you guys think. Have you read any of these books? Do you plan to read any of these books? Did anything I say kind of, pique your interest and make you want to check out the book for yourself? If you do decide to read any of the books that I recommend, please come back to this video and drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. Would you classify it as a 5-star read? If you liked it, tell me what it is that you liked about the book. If you didn't like it, tell me what it is that you didn't like about the book. And I will catch you guys in the next video. I'm not sure if the next video will be me recommending a book, or, it might be me kind of just going into detail about books that I started but didn't necessarily finish, or maybe even books that I just flat out hated. I'm not really sure yet, but we'll see. Stay tuned. And if you'd like to join the Book Hangover Club, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video.